Hey everyone, Gardner here, Conscious Warrior Coaching, Personal and Business Development. I want to talk about the necessity to slow down before we speed up. I see this a lot in business, and it showed itself today when I was working with a client specifically. Many times, even in life, even in personal development, and in life, the life arena, if you will, there are times when we need to make a change. There's times where we need to kind of up level, pivot, course correct, and do something so that we can continue in business. For example, creating a 2.0, like today, for example, bringing this business, this fairly successful business into hey, Carolyn, into a 2.0 version of what they're all about. And the same answer I kept getting from one of the owners was, oh, as soon as possible. And what I had to really get them to understand is that sometimes we need to slow down before we speed up. We need to get clear on where we're going. Things happen. This is building a business, and in this case, a brick and mortar business with an online component, with an online retail component, with, of course, marketing and advertisement and monetary spends on all of that. It becomes a Tetris, right? It's specific pieces that fit together, and you can't assemble this piece until these few pieces are established. And I honestly feel clarity, 9 times out of 10, clarity comes from slowing down. Clarity comes from being present. Clarity comes from doing the deep work. And as you know, if you listen to me, doing the deep work takes time. We need to get clear. Yes, we get downloads, and yes, we've all been in those situations where we get an impetus and then we act on it, and it leads us to something next, and great, it works. Sometimes it also kicks us in the ass when it bites us in the ass when we fall on our face, which we still learn, pivot, course correct, and move forward. However, slowing down to get clarity. In this case, okay, we know we have a business that's operating. It's generating revenue. We also know that there's some misalignment happening within the brand. We want to do a rebrand, if you will. We want to then educate our ideal clients on why they need our products, our services, us. The slow down portion of that is okay. When do we want this to roll out? Where are we at now in terms of budgetary figures, revenue? What is our burn rate? How are we maintaining our head above water now? How can we project? What are our projections of that moving forward so that we can start to draw markers in the sand? Okay, by the end of April, we're going to have a completely unified team, a congruent brand language, and so forth and so on. So then the next logical piece of that Tetris, the next logical piece of the strategy, then is what happens in May off of that. And that getting that is what we're doing right now, and that takes time. Pump the brakes. I know we're in a rush. We're in a rush to make money. We're in a rush to pay bills in business, right? We're in a rush to meet the demand of competition so that we can get out there and be seen and heard and understood more so than our competition. There's an urgency to make changes in our personal lives. Of course. And everything should have a pause moment. Everything. SPR. Stimulus, pause, react. Which is, in a sense, slow down and speed up. Stimulus. Want to get out of your shitty relationship. Want to build a business. Want to create an online revenue stream. Want to create a secondary business. Stimulus. Pause, slow down. Okay, assess, reassess, get clear, clarity. What is that really, what needs to happen for that relationship? What needs to happen for the business? How are we going to do this? Or not how, what do we want to do with an online business platform? So forth and so on. Then react. Then you begin to increase the speed of forward momentum, and eventually you build inertia. Inertia does not come without that forward force generating forward momentum. And I honestly think and believe and feel that that momentum can't happen without a launch pad for you to build, and that's clarity, and that's slowing down to speed up. Okay, so I wanted to share that today. It is a prevalent thing in the work that I do, because ultimately we're all human beings, and we want and we want and we worry and we get anxious, and we're inside our own picture frames, and it's so hard to be objective about anything we're doing a lot of the times, especially when there's an urgency and a necessity to it. And yet it all comes back to the human brand. We all can take a moment and get clarity by slowing down. Even myself, March is an eighth month, which means it is a seatbelt strapped on, energy. You're in for the ride month, and it's been like that for me. Thank you, Carolyn. Always a pleasure. Thank you. It's been like that for me. It has been a nonstop Six Flags adventure for 3.5 weeks. I just got another week and a half. And within that, though, I've definitely had slow down, pump the brake moments to make sure my focus is where it needs to be, to make sure my priorities are where they need to be, to make sure that I may need to course correct. I may need to change. And then as soon as I take my foot off that brake, because I have clarity, then I'm back on the Six Flags ride and rocking and rolling with March. So just a reminder, gang, slow down to speed up. It's the way to go. All right. Mad love to the courageous. Love you guys. Have a great evening, day, morning, whenever this finds you in the feed. Cheers.